In today's video, I want to take you guys through the process that I would go through if I was to do a photo shoot, like portrait photography. It happens sometimes that my wife needs some photos for her Instagram account. She recently had someone send her like some dresses and she needed me to take some photos of them for her socials. So I thought maybe I'll just walk you through the process of shooting some portrait photography. What I've got today with me is the Fujifilm X-T3, and I've got on the 18 to 55mm f2.8. This is the shallower depth of field that I have in my lenses, so that's what I would use for portrait photography. And I've got my my wife Sam, who's going to model for me and help me out with this video, and she's going to be like just pretending to be a model while I shoot some portrait photography. Now, one thing I haven't mentioned is that I'm actually shooting this video on the Fujifilm X-T4, and I have the 16 to 80mm f4 on for video. And we're gonna set up right down there, and I'll try and shoot some video and some photos at the same time, and I'll try to share all those photos on this vlog. One very important thing when you shoot some portrait photography is actually the setting, the surroundings. It's very important to go and scout first where you're going to shoot, because it plays a huge role into how well the photo is going to come out. So we chose this spot right by our house because it's a riverside with a bunch of trees around. Right now is the fall season, the end of the fall season, so there's a lot of like different colors in the leaves and the trees, so I thought the setting would be very nice for photography. So definitely scout some locations because it saves you time, and if you just go somewhere to shoot and you haven't checked the place first, you might just come up empty-handed. Alright, so what I try to do whenever I am shooting portrait photography like this, I'm trying to always get different kinds of shots. So you want to get close-ups with only face, you want to get some full body shot, so you want to walk further away, and you also want to get some detail shot. Like for example, if there's a necklace or there's a hat, you want to go very up close and take some nice shots. It's going to be different, so you can get a whole panel of different things from one shoot. You also want to change clothes. I don't know if you noticed, but Sam actually changed her wardrobe between the shoots. And also, one thing you can do to make it a little more interesting sometimes is to go and find some foreground interest that would be blurry, so she would be the subject in the background with the focus on her, and then the foreground blurry. That also can add like dimension to your photography. But one thing that's very, very important is the light. And the reason why I feel like I've struggled with this location here is the lighting. So it's a very harsh light. It's about 1 p.m. right now. It is almost winter, so the light is pretty low, but it's kind of harsh. And I was hoping that the trees would kind of like help draw some shadows and get a light a little more interesting. But what happened is that we actually struggled to find spots where you could shoot, because when you're in the shadows, it is too dark and you can't really detach the subject from the background. And so we only kind of stop where we see some pockets of light. Like right now, I'm right where the sun is, and now this kind of helps light the subject and make it more interesting. So always look for the light when you shoot. We are currently walking towards our third and last location. One more wardrobe change, so we need to actually get to the next spot and then set up and do the last session of the photo shoot. Alright, we walked up to this part. We're right under a tree that has all the yellow foliage. So, and it's kind of backlit. You can see the sun's right behind me. So we're gonna try and take some photos right here with all the yellow leaves in the background. I don't know if it's gonna work, but let's just try it. Gotta make sure the hat is straight.
Yes. Okay. Does it look okay?
Yeah, it was great.
Can't tell too much.
Alright, that was a bit of a fail. We tried it, but the lighting just isn't good under the tree. So we're gonna go to an actual spot that we did scout and we were pretty sure to shoot there, so I think that's going to be our best bet. Alright, so we arrived at the last spot that we scouted. This is a little bridge, a little like wooden structure. The sun is actually on the wrong side, so it's not that easy to get the right lighting, but we're gonna make it work. And yeah, let's just try to get those last shots with the last outfit and then see how it goes. One thing that I forgot to mention is when you actually shoot some portrait photography, there's one thing that's very important, is to make the model feel comfortable, and that is actually really hard. When you're a photographer and you're focusing on your camera and you're focusing on the lighting and you're focusing on the settings and your composition, you forget that the person that's modeling in front of the camera is actually feeling really awkward and doesn't know if they're doing anything right or wrong, or if you're getting the shots, if they're doing what you want them to do. So as a photographer, you're supposed to actually help them and guide them to do what you want them to do. And that's really hard. Actually, I'm very bad at that, but thankfully Sam is my wife, so she's pretty comfortable with me and I'm pretty comfortable with her, but she's also not a model, and I want to thank her for playing the part and actually helping me with this video. But yeah, always remember, if you're taking a portrait photography of a model, you as a photographer have to guide and give advice and like tell them what to do and how to position themselves so you can get the shots. Alright guys, this is it. We're done with the photo shoot. We went in 3 different locations with 3 different outfits. I got some faraway shots, some close-up shots, some detail shots. So I think I'm pretty happy with how the pictures came out. They were all edited with my presets. If you haven't seen it, last week I came up with a video about how I edit my photos with a Lightroom app on my iPhone. So you can go and check it out. But pretty much I edit them with Lightroom. I have a preset and then I just tweak things. So all the photos that I've shared on this video, you probably have seen them all already, are shot on the FUJIFILM X-T3 and touched up with a Lightroom app. This was very hard. It was a fun exercise, but shooting the whole video at the same time as I'm shooting photography was a bit of a mess, but I really want to thank Sam, my wife, for playing the model. She's not a model and she was very uncomfortable doing it, but she did a great job and she really helped me out with this video. And also, I am not very used to shooting portrait photography. I'm way more confident in my skills when I do street photography, but I think they came out all right. So hopefully you guys liked the photos and you also liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you can catch up more videos like this in the future. And this is it for me today, and I guess I'll see you guys next week for another one. Cheers.